Welcome to the Elite Work Health and Safety Program. This is session 2, and we're talking about consultation processes. My name is Faith Eason, and today I'm your trainer. So we know that every workplace, communication is very important, and one of the ways a workplace does this effectively is through the process of consultation in different forms. So we will expand on that. Again, the duration of the program is between 10 and 15 minutes. We welcome your questions and your comments because that really helps us to understand what your requirements are and how we can improve the training programs for you. We also attach templates, and the templates are there to help you maybe establish your systems a little bit more, or just give you a little bit more understanding of the process or the training that we've gone through. Again, we look at the WHS legislation, which we said in the old legislation, the employer must ensure a safe workplace. In our current Work Health and Safety Act of 2011, the PCBU must do all that is reasonable and practicable to protect the health and safety in the workplace. And of course, also they talk about the worker. The worker needs to make sure they're not harming themselves or others. The learning outcomes today is to look at the current types of arrangements, to look at consultation processes. In the new legislation, we still have consultation processes. Those haven't changed much. As we know, we have larger organizations, we have medium-sized organizations, and we have smaller organizations. So if your organization is a large one, then you'd normally have a Work Health and Safety Committee. And in that Work Health and Safety Committee, you'll have HSRs, health and safety representatives, who will represent different groups or different sectors within that large business. In a smaller environment or smaller workplace, what you will have is the agreed arrangements. So you'll have the staff meeting agenda, and on one of the items on that agenda will be work health and safety. So they'll be able to discuss work health and safety, and in that meeting you might have a supervisor, a manager, and they will then go back to the workplace or back to the office and be able to share that information with the staff and be able to educate them on the new work health and safety strategies they have in place, or in another respect, they take work health and safety stats or issues to the staff meeting. One of the most important changes in the new legislation is what I call the 3 C's: consultation, cooperation, and coordination. So if we're reading through those 3 different words, what this talks about is teamwork. We have to consult within that workplace, we have to cooperate, and we have to coordinate. So it's a really team effort. And earlier on, I spoke about the HSR, where the HSR had the powers to stop work and to issue improvement notices. And I said there was a criteria to that. The criteria is that if, say, for instance, in a workplace, let's look at maybe a manufacturing situation where maybe they have machinery, maybe a guard falls off and it exposes moving parts within that plant or machinery, and of course this becomes a hazard. What needs to happen is the HSR needs to get together with the management team, and they have to work together to be able to reach a resolve. So it might be that if they've discussed, they might say, okay, this product that's on this line has a certain timeline. It needs to be, completed. This consignment needs to get and be out of the factory at a given time. We can't afford to totally stop work, but perhaps this is what we can do, because to replace this part on this machinery, the technician can only come 2 days down the track to do the job. So, okay, we will make it safe. So they might just put barricades around the area and then talk to the staff and decide on a new safe work procedure in completing the job and have the job completed. But of course, they will do it in a more, in a quite different procedure, and also educate the staff on the new requirements in terms of completing the job. So again, it's that getting together. They can't simply go there and say, okay, this machine is broken, we will cease work or issue a PIN. And again, there needs to be that communication to see where it's going. So the second part, if they, in terms of that machinery, if they know that the part has been ordered, they're waiting on the technician, yes, the HSR can follow up and say, okay, how far, has the technician, is a technician coming in? This is day 2, what time is he coming? Or maybe the technician is delayed because they don't have the part. But that constant communication with the whole team on the floor or in the production area to make sure that it is happening. But again, collaboration, not simply saying, okay, I'm going to issue you with a PIN because, this still hasn't been done. There still needs to be communication, cooperation, and consultation. The only places or only way you can see that maybe would be reasonable for them to do that is when maybe the director of the company, the supervisors of the organization are not cooperating with the HSR, then maybe they would have grounds to distribute or to issue the notice. So the next part we talk about is, as I said, we do supply you with templates, and these templates are really just to help a little bit more. We have a template there for just a basic meeting agenda. So if that is helpful for you, it's always good to be able to ensure that you have got work health and safety as part of the agenda. So if it's an agreed arrangement, make sure that's happening. I've often had questions from different people where they'd say, well, we're such a small office, or we got contractors. How do we do the consultation process? And one of the things I say to them, well, you'll have a toolbox talk. So just make sure you document that, and that should be sufficient, to say, well, we have spoken about safety items as we've gone to jobs and we've looked at the jobs, and just document your discussions around the safety aspects of the job. Just document that, make sure that you keep that in file for your future records, so that if you need to look back onto it, to make sure that you've done, you've gone through the process, or if safe work comes in and they want to know whether your processes are in place and you're following through your due diligence, they can actually see your records. Thank you very much for today, and I look forward to having you for the next session.